while we're waiting, I think we'll just have a little talk about this showcase. So we've got about 12, or I think it might even be 14 other healers and energy workers coming to join me over the next couple of weeks to tell us about their work. I'm Sarah Negus, the healer's healer and a modern day shaman. So I specialise in helping other healers open up to their gifts and capabilities, giving them a good sense of how to stay professional in the field, which can be difficult for us. So I run a couple of Facebook groups, the Healing Club and Spiritual Entrepreneur Resource. And both of these groups are kind of set up with the idea of collaboration and non-competition. So I've invited all of my colleagues, if they want to come and join me and talk about what they do. And our first victim, if you like, is Julie Wunderlich, but she's having trouble at the moment logging on despite our practice. Anyway, she's the high vibe priestess, and as soon as she gets on, I'm sure she's going to tell you all about it. I hope so, anyway. Let's see, she just messaged me again on Facebook. Okay. Hello, are you all right? You're with us?
I am, yes.
So I've done a little introduction of myself already, and about the Healing Club and the Spiritual Entrepreneur Resource. So basically, the groups where we met, which are all based on how we collaborate together and spread the word, really. So this is the first of our showcases.
Yay.
You are Julie Wunderlich, the High Vibe Priestess. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell me just a little brief introduction, who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. I'm somebody who has realized that being in a high vibe state is super, super important. Throughout my life, I was basically shooting for neutral, I figured out, in terms of like, it's not bad, therefore it must be okay, but neutral is not good, so no. And nothing was working very well, and it was very frustrating. So when I came across energy work 5 or 6 years ago, the next thing that I realized was, oh God, I was shooting for neutral. There's a good, there's an amazing, there's a positive thing you can go for, you know, and I should be going for that. And I realized that most of the people in my life to that point had been going for the neutral, and I needed to help people get into the amazing, sparkly, fun, fantastic side of things instead of just the not bad, you're okay.
And that's what you mean by high vibe.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, positives, amazing, like things are sizzling and flowing and they're just beautiful because they're not neutral. Because neutral isn't good. It's not bad, but it's not good either, right?
Yeah. Okay. And I have got a few little notes here, which I'm going to refer to, seeing as this is our first one. So you began working online as an online entrepreneur. When did you do that? When did that begin for you?
That was in March of this year.
Okay, so recently new to it. What was your inspiration to step out onto Facebook, which is our forum at the moment where we met?
Well, a couple of things. I'm currently living in Germany, and my German is not good enough to do this in person. So if I wanted to do it here, I had to do it online to start with. And secondly, I wanted a location-independent business so that my husband and I can travel. And I mean, this is the third country we've lived in together already. So we're hoping for more. And it's nice to have only one of us. You know, my job is here, therefore that's where we'll go, rather than trying to balance two. And this way also I get to work with amazing people from all over the world rather than just one city. So it's so much more fun that way too.
Yeah, so freedom across the board, really. And
absolutely.
In terms of every bit thing you do.
Yeah, that's one of my core desired feelings for sure.
Yeah. We haven't actually worked together. I mean, we've crossed paths, but I'm not really that au fait with exactly what you do. So assuming we'd never met, imagine I'm a stranger, and tell me, how would you describe what you do and how it can help me?
Awesome. That's an easy first liner, is I help people feel amazing about themselves now. not after they hit that goal or lose 10 pounds or, gain 5 new clients or whatever it is. I firmly believe people are not broken. They do not need fixing. I don't even necessarily use the approach that they need healing. There's just issues within them that need resolving, and blocks to be let go, etc. So basically, I approach everything with positivity and focusing on what's good so that they can raise their vibe, so that they can kick away whatever is holding them back. Mm-hmm. And I'll use whatever way I can, energy modalities, or I consider them like inner knowledge modalities, things like astrology and numerology, and personality psychology, that give us insights into who we are and why we do what we do, and when those things come up for us. So it's about shedding light on the person and their deepest, I guess you could say, recesses of their soul and their psyche, and then making sure that they are loving that and enjoying that and fully reveling in that, so that they can move forward towards what they want while being themselves and not trying to hide or cover it up.
Okay. Do you find lots of people are hiding?
Yeah, I did it for years.
Yeah, me too. And it can be a scary place, can't it? If you're kind of picking out of the shadow to look at yourself. So your work is really valid, and I love the fact that you talk about high vibe all the time. That's easily accessible to most people. All they got to do is laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that you do that a lot.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things, I'll be honest.
Laughing, yeah, me too.
Just makes you feel good.
So say I'm a stranger still, and hi, we've just met, and you told me what you do. Mm-hmm. How would you do that with me? What would you suggest? How would that pan out? What would be the process?
Well, the first thing is to get them acquainted again with who they are and what they've been hiding, because a lot of people have been hiding it, been wearing something else, been pushing it away, been keeping it locked away so tightly that they forget what's there. And they know that there's something they don't want people to see, or that they don't want people to know, but they honestly couldn't even tell you right away. So there's a lot of going deep with that. That's where the astrology and the numerology come in, because I can see patterns between the two. Mm-hmm. As well as things like personality psychology. The Myers-Briggs test is particularly insightful for me, or specifically if people are thinkers versus feelers. That's the big, the one that I find the feelers are often trying to become thinkers, and the thinkers are trying to become feelers to seem to fit in better or something. And so anyway, identification is the first step.
So it's a little bit based in science there, isn't it? It's not just all woo.
No, not completely. And it makes sense that that's my approach, because I have a science degree. I did that first.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was Earth and Ocean Science. I love knowing how the world around us operates and where things come from and all that good stuff.
Okay. And then from there, you go deeper, do you? So as you get to know your client, what sort of journey would you take them on?
First, like I said, is identification. Then it's acceptance, because they can't move beyond the way they are, and if they're freaking out about who they are and what they're trying to cover up or what's just been exposed. So it's getting them to focus on what they love about themselves, what they enjoy about themselves, what really lights them up, and incorporating that slowly, day by day, every day, at least a little bit, so they get used to.
Let me shut this door. Hold on 2 seconds.
Okay.
There's obviously somebody coming to my door.
Good guard dog.
Sorry about that. He's big. He's noisy.
It happens. So they have to incorporate what about them lights them up, right. What it is they truly enjoy, what it is, whether it's a certain topic to learn about, whether it's going back to school, whether it's listening to certain music that they didn't feel they could comfortably do that before. It can be really tiny things, but anything that puts them back into themselves and back into that honest energy where they're not trying to hide, because that automatically gives you a higher vibe. As soon as you're dampening yourself, you're dampening your vibe, and that wrecks the whole thing.
Yeah. I understand. So along the way, you talk about how you were in neutral for a long time.
Decades.
Yes. It's such a shame, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah.
So I call aha moments epiphanies. And in my journey, I've had many of them. Most of them have been in a car being crashed, or having a illness that has taken me to the kind of the edge of my life. What was it with you that led you to be the healer that you are today? What were the steps that you
went through?
Just an idea.
Well, as a kid, teenager, etc., I felt different. A lot of us do, but really, I had to hide all the facets of me in order to fit in and be accepted and and then that made me just keep it conforming, you know, like I'm going to go to university. I'm going to do something that I can get good grades and I'm going to then get a career. I'm good, you know, and I never took the time to realize what I was about, what I actually wanted. Nobody said, what is your dream? Nobody said that to me after the age of like 6. You know, they say, what do you want to do when you get older? What career do you want to have? How do you want to make your money? But they don't say, what are your dreams? Let's nurture those. And being, you know, the literal science person who's attracted to the black or white answers, if you can get it all right, I wanted to learn it, cram it in there, you know, because I always did well in exams and was a very good student.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was very fit into the black or white box. Yes or no, decide, go this way or go that way. And I followed what people thought I should do, and I followed what was expected of me, because as one of the smart ones, you're supposed to go to university and you're supposed to do one of the harder degrees. And, you know, it's just because you can, right? You should. My epiphanies were, one, just because I can, I sure as hell don't have to. That the should part, just because I can, is not at all there. And for the longest time, that's what I was doing. You know, other people can't do this. I should, somebody should. You know, and the shoulds drove me. But the single biggest one was when I started energy work, and it was just, you know, I think a 10-week course I took online first, but it lifted so much off, took away a lot of the crap, and I was just happier. My husband even said 3 weeks in, he said, are you on some kind of happy pill that I don't know about? Like, you're smiling all the time. And I wasn't a grumpy person to begin with, you know, and I just went, no, I literally just feel like I'm beaming, and there's so many weights that have been lifted. This is just effing amazing. Like, I have to help people with it. So that was the healer epiphany for sure.
When was that?
That was only a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow. So
yeah.
You had an intense journey.
Yes. Yeah, the last year and a half has been a lot crammed into it.
What happens often when your energy opens up and I call it armor, when you kind of cast off your physical and emotional armor that you've spent all of your life putting on.
That's actually a great analogy, because that's what it felt like. I was just flying because I had all this crap off.
Yeah, life is so much lighter and it's so much easier when you actually step into your own authenticity, which sounds to me that what you found about a year and a half ago.
Yes, exactly. And it's so freeing, and there's no more, what do I tell this person? How do I know this person? What do they know about me? You just say it because you're not trying to remember anything. It's just you. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I recognize that. So you're a scientist first and foremost.
First, yes.
Yes, first, okay. And then you've come off into the world of energy, where nothing can really be explained.
No, I did always like quantum physics and things like that in university. Those are my favorite classes. Mm-hmm. The stuff that was, I'm going to say, the woo-wooist, I guess you could get with physics. All those theories and Einstein's quotes about how everything's energy, and he was already onto all that stuff, right? And it's just not focused on like that when they teach you in university or in high school. They focus on what they can replicate, what they can prove, what they can write a paper on and get, you know, critical recognition for, and all of that. And it's, I don't know, for me, they went together really naturally, even though a lot of the friends that I've had in the science realm, they hear what I'm doing now and they kind of go, oh, that's nice. Anyway, gotta go. And I'm like, yeah, okay, bye.
Then I just stop, because there's so many more questions I find that are exciting and, you know, things that can be explored. And I'm sure that because we've been stuck in the dogma of we have to prove everything.
Mm-hmm. And I feel that sometimes still.
Has stopped energy being the thing that we live with and that drives us. Although it does, but we're kind of not aware of it.
No, a lot of people aren't at all. Yeah.
So within your practice, what do you do for yourself to keep your own energy clear? I mean, and keep a healthy professional status with your clients on an everyday basis? I guess what I'm asking is, what steps do you take to keep expanding your own awareness and lifting your energy, keeping your high vibe state?
Well, there's lots of different things, but the one I do every single day, non-negotiably, is a grounding meditation. Mm-hmm. I need to stay grounded. Otherwise, I get way too much in my head. The scientist ego-y brain thing kicks in, and that ain't pretty. It's just not. But aside from that, there's various things. I mean, I try to make sure that I do something that and I don't mean that I don't enjoy meditation. I really do. But it's not something that I would say is one of my ex-guilty pleasures. I don't use the term guilty pleasure. It's actually something that I really encourage people get rid of from their vocabulary, because if something genuinely pleases you and puts you in a high vibe, you should not feel guilty about it. Absolutely. But anything that what other people might classify as a guilty pleasure for me, you know, enjoying like my Star Trek. I try to watch an episode a day if I have the time. The sci-fi girl in me just geeks out and loves it. And even the music comes on and I get all happy. It's really quite ridiculous, but I adore it, right? That kind of thing. If I can have 45 minutes, I'll watch an episode of that. Or I will spend some time even just, I've done this before, writing down what I would have included in an episode if I'd been writing them back then. Some way of indulging myself in what it is that makes me feel like a little kid again and makes me happy and brings back that buoyant, fabulous, high vibe energy.
You step into your creative self.
Absolutely. And it's got to feel fun for me. That's my key. If I have a bit of fun in every day, or at least a little bit, it just, time flies by, things are great, the vibe goes up, and it's just fantastic. I encourage my clients to tap into their inner child, or in some cases, their horny inner teenager, whatever works for them, because sexual energy obviously is a great way to do it too. And one of my other things is have an orgasm. It raises the vibe right away. It frees up energy. It keeps things flowing. It's fantastic. So,
it does. I imagine that quite a lot of your clients will sit there deadpan, and as you say that, what's the responses that you've received when you've told people to do that?
Oh, I've heard, oh, really? Like slightly uncomfortable, like that's not what I thought you were going to say. And I'm like, yeah, really? Because I mean, I was asked point blank in another blab, what's the fastest way to raise your vibe? And I said, masturbate. Like, just do it, because you will feel better. Assuming you don't have a ton of issues around that sort of thing. But I mean, once people get started, generally that goes away quickly. Others have been a little bit like, okay, cool. Totally not what I expected, but I'm open.
You've given me permission.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they needed permission for that. And I'm kind of like, you could have done it the whole time, but I'm so glad I can help. It's usually one of those. Nobody's been outwardly offended, or at least that I could pick up on. And I don't think people that resonate with me would be, to be frank, because I'm all about any type of application in your life and in your day. Like I said, watch Star Trek, have sex, whatever it is that helps with your vibe, just do it. Like, it's, you know, there's nothing to be ashamed about if that's what you like.
Yeah, cool. So finally, as we come to the end of our time together, I've been thinking about this myself in terms of my business. Where do I see myself going? So I'll ask you that question. Where do you see your practice going in the future?
Oh, good one. I was thinking about this ahead of time. There's two potential avenues. One is when we've lived in a few more countries and gotten a feel for things, I would like to venture into some in-person healing or energy work sessions, whatever you want to call them. That is something that I haven't tried yet. And I mean, aside from on my husband, he's kind of my guinea pig. But that's definitely something that I would like to try, but in a country where my language skills are more advanced, so probably English speaking, unless I get amazing at this really quickly, you know, which is always possible. But another thing
Sometimes
is,
you don't need to talk; you just work.
Yes, well, exactly, the energy part of it. But for people who, because Germans are kind of funny like that, they're not openly into that very often. You know, it's not like it's even less the norm than it is in North America, for example. And I've got some friends here that I can, my German, their English, Dinglish, we call it, gets by, and we can talk about it, and then, oh, weird, never heard of that, or, oh, interesting, I don't really understand, and then I can't find the words to explain. So It may be just a case of sitting them down and doing it, but I also feel I would need their permission and for them to have some understanding first. So, you know, maybe later. On that part. But anyway, the other thing is part of me, because I was also a teacher, taught science in the UK for a few years out of university. Part of me really wants to not just help people with their energy in a session and show them how to manage themselves for the next, you know, week or two or whatever till our next session, but to show them how to do these things, you know, make their own guided meditations, for example, and teach them in courses how to set themselves up for ongoing, at least maintenance, you know, where they can keep that vibe high. So the teacher in me wants to come out more for sure.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that, Julie. Thank you for this today. It's been really enlightening. I feel like I've got to know you a lot better. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, definitely. I'm just so sorry it started late and my tech issues.
That's fine.
Have you got some website and things like that I can type in here in the message section?
Oh, yes. I can pop a couple in real quick if you like.
Yes, please.
My website is a landing page at the, there we go, energycoachjulie.com. I am transitioning to the High Vibe Priestess, but this was my first one. You can get in touch with me that way, but Facebook is the best, facebook.com/energycoachjuliew. Okay. I'm on there all the time, like we all are, responding to messages quickly, etc. And Periscope's actually my latest venture as well, at Energy Coach Julie. If people want to catch things about numerology and astrology and my random Fridays and,
Sounds exciting.
What's going on. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Julie.
Oh, thank you so much for this.
Do join in on everybody else's.
I will.
Great. Thanks ever so much.
Oh, well, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.